Hey, my name's Ryan from the Airbnb Formula, and in this video I'm going to show you how rent-to-rent works for an Airbnb business. Someone asked me how it works, so I thought I'd do a video on it and explain how I go into the logical decisions of how much rent I'm going to pay to a landlord. So, first and foremost, you want to be making a minimum of about £500 a month from this venture. Now, that's per unit, by the way. Now, you can make, north of £1,500, £2,000 a month for some of the bigger units, but typically, £500 on average is not a bad return for a property that you don't own. We're talking £6,000 a year here, times that by 10, you've got 60 grand a year coming into your life, that you didn't have before, and you can do that, you can acquire properties very, very quickly, so it does really work. Now, what you want to do in terms of the research is, you want to work out what your average nightly stay is going to be on Airbnb. So you can do that by just having a look at other people's calendars and see what they're charging on average per night. Now, if you then factor in £500 worth of bills, give or take, which would be your council tax and your utilities, then Wi-Fi, things like that you're going to have to put in. Then you also maybe want to put about 200, 250 for cleaning and linen, depending on how you're going to run that. Once you've got your costs and you've worked out your average night, then you want to basically work out how many nights you need to fill to be able to pay your costs, including your rent. Now, in terms of the rent, you're going to work that out from the costs that you've got, and then how much you can make on about 13, 14 nights, times your nightly rate by that, and then see what the difference is. Because really, you want to have all your bills and everything paid within about 13 nights of operation, and then the rest of the month you want to be profit. If you need to push up to maybe 20, 21 nights to be break even, then that's fine, but just be aware that in the low seasons you may struggle to get those unless you've got a really good direct booking system in place. There's plenty of videos on my YouTube channel which goes through the direct booking formula, but you want to make sure that you can get a break even at the lowest number of nights as possible per month, and that obviously then opens up not only the opportunity to make more money, but it de-risks your money that you're investing each month and paying the landlord. Then research Airbnb calendars in your area. I think this is a great way to find out how busy people are. Now at the minute, we're shooting this video in the midst of COVID, January 2021, and a year's gone by and we kind of forget about it, but it was a year to forget. And one thing we're seeing now is most people are only booking 7 to 14 days in advance, so don't get too alarmed if there's nothing much outside of that right now when you're doing your research. But as we come out of COVID, we will see the longer bookings start to come back in, especially if you're in a destination like we operate in, where stag and hen parties are quite popular on weekends. People come to visit certain attractions in the city, they come for the away football matches, things like that. Then people plan ahead for those things, so your 30-day calendar then becomes back in play a bit more, and you want to know how booked up people are 30 days in advance, because that was the old sort of methodology, and I think that will come back into play. But for now, just focusing on the next 7 to 14 days and seeing how that plays out. And what you want to be looking for is hosts that have been in the game a while, and their calendars do look, they've got spots of bookings within that 7 to 14 day calendar, and that then that location works. The easiest thing to do is just put your postcode in Airbnb of your property, and then put how many people your property is likely to sleep, and then just see what properties come up around it, and then start researching them. Now, you can see by the reviews that the hosts had how long they've been in operation, or using that profile anyway that they've been in operation. And for me, if they've been in operation for a number of years, it's a good sign, because no one's going to stay in business if it's not working. And most of these people will own their own properties, so therefore they could quite easily turn them back to tenant properties if need be. So don't worry too much about the number of reviews, because not everyone leaves a review on the platforms, and also with direct bookings and other platforms, you might get, if you had 6 stays a month, 2 of them might be from Airbnb, 2 might be from booking.com, and 2 might be direct booking. So you're not going to have all the reviews. Also, not everybody leaves a review. You probably only get, 30% of people will leave a review as well. So you're just kind of looking for these little signals that it's working, and then that gives you the confidence to be able to say, okay, That's going to be my rent that I'm going to offer the landlord. That's going to be my bills, and based on my nightly rate, I'm going to need to fill X number of nights to make a profit. Does that sound feasible? You know, if it's like 28 days to break even, then obviously that's not a deal. You know, you need to be making, I think, between 13 and 16 days a month is your break even point, and then the rest of the month becomes your profit. So that's kind of how I work out when we're looking at rent to rent, and when we're looking at acquiring new properties off landlords and making offers to them. And then you can justify that offer to a landlord as well, and that helps with the trust factor rather than just picking a random number out of the air. So that's how rent to rent works for Airbnb, and that's how you can analyze a deal and know that a deal works for you. And then obviously you can make the offers to the landlords, and you can make the uplift in the profit by keeping your costs low and getting a great rent at the start. So for more, as always, head over to my Instagram page, Official Ryan Luke, and hit the link in the bio. There's plenty of stuff on there, including my Airbnb Formula ebook and my service accommodation webinar, which are free to download and get involved with. Apart from that, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell notification so that you get notifications every single time we launch a video, and have an awesome day.